Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're going to be reviewing a new card which is coming out of the structure deck for the wind attribute characters. This is called Revered, Banner of the Revolution. It's a continuous trap card with the effects. You can use each effect among the first, second and third effects with this card's name only once per turn. 1. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add 1 liberty at last from your deck or graveyard to your hand. 2. At the start of the damage step, if a synchro monster is battling another monster, you can destroy your opponent's battling monster. And 3. If this card in the graveyard, and 3. If this card is in the spell and trap zone, would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy 1 monster you control instead. So we're actually going to look at these effects in reverse order just because I think that's actually how they work better. The third effect is actually quite useful because very few times do you get effects which happen to protect spell and trap cards. Rather, it tends to be monsters that happen to get rid of other cards to be able to protect themselves. Think of things like Six Samurai. If they're going to be destroyed in battle, you can just destroy another one of the Six Samurais, so you can actually protect the one that you need with its effect, or that has the stat lineup you need for that time. So this is unique and refreshing. I would love to see this within actually other spell and trap support as well, maybe within their continuous ones, or maybe the field spell. The secondary ability is also useful considering that a lot of the boss monsters are synchro monsters anyway, so you're able to just instantly disrupt your opponent's battling monster. It destroys them instantly. That means it's at the start of the damage step before they actually go into battle, meaning your opponent can't actually activate anything against this, which is a nice effect in itself. It rips those cards apart, and unless they've got a protection from destruction effect, they're quite useless. The final effect, which is the first one, which I find really interesting, is the Liberty at Last effect, to be able to search for that card. For anyone who isn't aware what that does, basically if your opponent destroys one of your monsters by battle, you can actually shuffle 2 monsters they have on their field to the deck, and then they have to shuffle those. The monsters targeted do have to be in face up, so they have to be the face up defense position, or as all attack position monsters are, they're face up anyway. And because they're put back into the deck, if the things that your opponent has actually actively searched for, they've wasted resources in order to do this. It's particularly effective against things like extra deck monsters because those go back to the extra deck, whereas they've used up the resources in order to summon those cards. It's also useful against key cards if you know what your opponent is running. Definitely an unusual card, and actually it does connect to a weird trap card as well. It's nice to see connections and synergies between cards, and I'm hoping that they'll introduce more of these types of style in later designs and effects. What do you guys think of this card? Is this something you consider running? Are you a fan of the synchro monsters and would love to run this? Or maybe you just love the interaction between this and Liberty at Last? Whatever you think, leave those comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content.